All right. So, today's video, we got Representative Elise Stefanik is going nutty over anti-Semitism. So the Republicans passed a bill in the House. The Republicans passed a bill in the House. Anti-Semitism isn't Zionism, and they passed a bill for this, which, I mean, they shill so hard for Israel, but I mean, they're bought and paid for. It's so obvious. But so what happened is, we've been having a lot of these pro-Palestine demonstrations, especially on college campuses. Well, Representative Elise Stefanik decided that she wanted to pull in Harvard's president, which now was recently hired, maybe the last couple years. She's a black woman, so diversity, and she's the new president, and she's basically holding it down, saying free speech, free speech. I commend her. Let's take a look at the video, but then I got some problems with it, some issues.
Ms. Stefanik, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Dr. Gay, a Harvard student calling for the mass murder of African Americans is not protected free speech at Harvard, correct?
Our commitment to free speech...
It's a yes or no question. Is that corrected? Is that okay for students to call for the mass murder of African Americans at Harvard? Is that protected free speech?
Our commitment to free speech
It's a yes or no question. Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
This is what I mean. It's so disingenuous. Intifada, I believe it means resistance. I believe it means the resistance. Oh, they put up Elise Stefanik's quote. What? This is insane. What? Get out of here. And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict. What do you mean context? They don't listen. They label things whatever they want it. Is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel. Yeah, because you're occupying their land. This is what I mean. This whole argument, it's all in bad faith. It's all in bad faith. You can't even argue the real facts. Like, bro, you're occupying their land. You went there, you took their land, and now you're treating them like, are you serious? And your people went through what they did in the 30s and 40s? And you have the nerve to turn around and do it to somebody else? This is what I mean. This whole... it's almost comical. Like, if children, women civilians weren't dying fucking every fucking couple seconds or whatever it is. But this is what I mean. It's disingenuous. It's so easy to decipher what's right and what's wrong in this situation. The only way they can even make their case is to completely rearrange and change the initial question. Like the occupation never happened in their eyes. Occupation never happened. Everything started October 7th.
And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. Are you aware of that?
That type of...
Again, the genocide of Jews. No one says that. It's so crazy. They are literally pointing and making the accusation that people who are asking for Palestine to have rights, basic human rights, out of nowhere turns into, oh, you want to kill all Jews. It's always so extreme with these people. Like,
Hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, there is only one solution, Intifada revolution, and, quote, globalize the Intifada. Is that correct?
you know why they're saying that's the only solution? Because not too long ago they had that, I think it was like 2018, 2019, where they had this march or demonstration where they all walked to the gate, the wall of Israel-Palestine. Thousands of people walked to the gate with no guns, no nothing. Well, they ain't got nothing anyway. And just wanted to ask to come over and talk. It just, you know what I'm saying? It was up on that Mahatma Gandhi, MLK type stuff, nonviolent. And Israel just started shooting, killing people. Bro, they killed a 2-year-old. Like, what are you not understanding? Like, what? And people have the nerve to argue that they're in any way on the right side of history. What is just humane? It's so crazy.
I've heard that thoughtless, reckless, and hateful language on our campus. Yes.
So based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for Intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
Globally.
I will say again, that type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you
But
not
our
say here that it is
values
against the
also
code of conduct at
Holding it
Harvard?
down.
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even
right.
of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful.
So they basically go back and forth the whole time. But what I do want to say is the reason why, the issue I take with this, and this is why I know this is somewhat disingenuous, because right now it's speech that the left likes, right? They'll censor, they'll do just as bad, if not worse, if it was the other way around. If these were the Proud Boys at the school, or if they were pushing some, religion or religious thing, or, well, obviously it's at school, but if they were pushing, if it was anti-abortion, they would throw the hammer down and do exactly what this lady's doing on the opposite end. And so this is why I know that her claim, using the free speech claim, it's really disingenuous. She really doesn't mean it. Because if it was the other way around, and like even Stefanik said, if these were people shouting about, black people, that wouldn't fly. Y'all wouldn't let that fly, So it's really not free speech for everybody. She's, but it's because this is the position. And honestly, I think, I'm a free speech absolutist, so I think you should be able to say whatever. Threats, no. You can't threaten somebody's life. But free speech, say whatever you want, bro. Say whatever you want. Words. They're words. People need to get over that shit, bro. They're words. They don't hurt. There's no violence. Stop. And this is what I mean. It's these arguments nowadays, they're so disingenuous. They're not even based in real life.
It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
you testify that you understand that is the definition of Intifada. Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
She's not. She's holding it down.
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I
outrageous,
both know
and
that's not the
offensive.
case. You were aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
As I observed,
So she should continue? Continue being at the bottom? What is she trying to say? What's the argument? What are you talking about? You say, oh, you're not for free speech because you were 10th on this chart here that somebody made. Like, this ranking. How do you, ranked 10th in free speech? Like,
earlier, I reject that characterization.
It's the
of our
data shows
campus.
it's true. And isn't it true that Harvard previously rescinded multiple offers of admissions for applicants and accepted freshmen for sharing offensive memes, racist statements, sometimes as young as 16 years old? Did Harvard not rescind those offers of admission?
That long predates my time as president.
But you
so I can't
understand
speak.
that Harvard made that decision to rescind those offers of admission.
I have no reason to contradict the facts as you present them.
Correct, because it's a fact. You're also aware that a Winthrop House faculty dean was let go over who he chose to legally represent, correct? That was while you were dean.
That is an incorrect characterization of what transpired.
What's the characterization?
I'm not going to get into details about a
wait, she said,
Dean was let go over
I have no reason to contradict the facts as you present them.
Correct, because it's a fact. You're also aware that a Winthrop House faculty dean was let go over who he chose to legally represent, correct? That was while you were dean.
oh, was it?
That is an incorrect
Was he representing
characterization
Trump?
of what transpired.
What's the characterization?
I'm not going to get into
bet you it
details
was. I bet
about a
you it
personnel
was.
matter.
Well, let me ask you this. Will admissions offers be rescinded or any disciplinary action be taken against students or applicants who say, from the river to the sea or Intifada, advocating for the murder of Jews?
Again, what? That, you can't take it. See, this is what I mean. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. So basically, to say Palestine should exist, right, where they used to, is automatically destroying Israel and wanting to eliminate and kill Jews. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. As if that's the only option. They both can't survive together. And see, really, you know what I think the real issue is that I think Israel has done so much abhorrent, nasty stuff to them, to the Palestinians. Even if they were to try to spark some deal, I think they fear retribution. I think they fear, to get back, for all the stuff. They basically, they don't believe that they could say, all right, all's behind us. Right. I mean, from what the stuff I've seen, I wouldn't want to do that either. I mean, Israel has been completely out of control. Arresting children, like, we're going to get into that in a different video. Get into the whole Gaza thing. Because, people just don't. There's only one side to that situation. To be pro-Israel is to be completely inhumane. Be okay with bombing civilians. And all the talking points are not in good faith. Everything is, they have that little anti-Semitism word, so. Just like when black people, I have these conversations with white people or a different race, they have the racism word. It's the ace of spades, bam. You can't counter it. And they do the same thing with anti-Semitism. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. They call just even criticizing them anti-Semitic. You can't even question.
As I've said, that type of hateful, reckless, offensive speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And today that no action will be taken. What action will be taken?
When speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies, including policies against bullying, harassment, or intimidation, we take action, and we have robust disciplinary processes that allow us to hold individuals accountable.
What action has been taken against students who are harassing and calling for the genocide of Jews on Harvard's campus?
I can assure
To say that phrase while Israel is literally damn near committing a genocide. Just the fact that the even question is even out there. It's disgusting. And as you can see how the will that she has, she's really upset because of this narrative has shaped her to think a certain way. And it's just insane to me that Republicans and other politicians can be so bought and paid for. Israel has a complete lockdown on all politicians. What is this? They said 98% of IPOC is APAC or whatever it is. It said 98% of all politicians that get money from the Israel lobby, 98% get elected. They have a 98% rate for all their donors. If you think that this is what you think the election is real, like they really just count all the votes and I don't understand how people can continue to go on and actually make the case. Yeah, they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth there. They're telling the truth. They're not telling the truth there. They're not. No, they don't tell the truth about anything. Literally. Wikipedia is still not on the market. Still on the market. Please don't skip the 1 minute read. American Israel Public Affairs Committee. That's IPOC. And so 17 regionals and satellite offices and a new headquarters on K Street in D.C. IPOC spent $3.5 million on lobbying in 2018. But less than many industry lobby groups, according to Open Secrets, with the top 15 such groups in the U.S., all spending over $15 million. It's been noted that simple dollar value comparisons aside, IPAC has a somewhat unique model that often begins donating early in careers of politicians with long-term promise. Yeah, because they keep them there. This is so insidious. All right. It's a shame.
We have robust
what actions have been taken? I'm not asking
actions underway.
I'm asking what actions have been taken against those students.
Given students,
they don't pass bills for Americans like they do for Israel. They've passed so many bills that are just anti-Semitic bills, like
rights to privacy and our obligations under FERPA. I will not say more about any specific cases other than to reiterate that processes are ongoing.
Do you know what the #1 hate crime in America is?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
I know that over the last couple of months, there has been an alarming rise of anti-Semitism, which I understand is the critical topic that we are here to discuss.
That's correct. It is anti-Jewish hate crimes. And Harvard ranks the lowest when it comes to protecting Jewish students. This is why I've called for your resignation, and your testimony today, not being able to answer with moral clarity, speaks volumes. I yield back.
Ooh. That inner Karen came out. Oh, no, she's already tapped into the Karen. She's full Karen, actually. Full Karen mode. You know, every white woman has that Karen gene. It's dormant. It's dormant until they get older. Time, right? Sometimes it might peak out when they're younger too. You know, she leans right into the Karen too. Oh yeah. So, you know, Claudine Gay, the president. You know, she did good holding it down. You know, using free speech to get her point across. When I believe in reality, she's not for free speech. These people will censor you if you say something about trans people. They get you out of here, you know. So they're not really. She's just using that to be able to say, hey, this is what it is. To be able to continue, you know, she's just blaming it on that, and that's what it really is, blaming it on that instead of, you know, using that as, hey, this is a solid principle of the American. No. They just want to continue doing their leftist things. Alright, so. That's going to be it. Check out, I'm about to do a long in-depth. Nah, it's not going to be that long in-depth, but I'm going to go in-depth on Israel, Gaza, the paradigm of how it kind of shaped here in America, and the disingenuous and bad faith arguments that come from one side. And I really think you're not, as a real human being, you just, with a heart, any kind of empathy, there's no way you can try to make the case that what Israel is doing is okay. And, I mean, okay in any kind of way. I mean, it's not okay. Not okay. And I'm going to go over, you know, just that dynamic in the narratives. See you there.